Next question is from someone who heard you speaking. It says, I listened to your interview on Java with Julie.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
with Julie. Yes.
Is that the name of it? Java
Yes,
with Julie.
Java
Okay,
with
I
Julie.
see. I didn't actually know what it meant. So she says she was so blessed by it. Can you talk about how to have our thirst quenched by Jesus? I'm a Christian and I want to have my thirst quenched by Christ and have my sexual desires lead toward heaven. I don't know how.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. Is this an anonymous questioner?
Her name is Allison.
Hi, Allison. Bless you, Allison, for your beautiful, vulnerable question. Allison, it can be a struggle, especially if we're raised in an environment, and this is what Julie and I were talking about on that podcast. A lot of Christians, and speaking of ecumenical efforts, Julie and I have a great respect for one another. She's Protestant, I'm Catholic, obviously, and she's had me on her show a few times. She does a lot of great work in the Protestant world on sexual wholeness, sexual integrity, what that all means. So there's so much hope here. And I want to say to Allison, if you were raised in an environment where Jesus was on one hand and sexuality was on the other, and ne'er the tween shall meet, this can be very challenging. How do we bring spirituality and sexuality together? And what is incompatible here is not Christianity and sexuality, or not holiness and sexuality. They are not incompatible. What is incompatible is holiness and lust, or twisted, disordered sexuality. That's the stumbling block. That's what takes us away from the Lord. But we have to remember here, basic principle, so important. The devil does not have his own clay. All he can do is take God's clay. God looked at everything he made, said, behold, it is very good, and twist it up. So the pathway of redemption is not throwing away that muddled clay. It's untwisting it. I got this line from Scott Hahn. I really like it. That Christ says, I make all things new. He doesn't say, I make all new things. That's really good, isn't it? It's
it is.
A very important distinction.
Yeah, it is.
I make all things new. So, Allison, I would say to you, whatever in your heart, whatever in your experience, in your memories, in your formation when it came to sexual questions, whatever has been a wound, whatever has been a pain, whatever has been a suffering, a sorrow, whatever you might have felt has robbed you of your dignity, has robbed you of your innocence, has robbed you of your beauty. The Lord makes all things new. And that means a long journey of letting the Lord into those memories. Allison, maybe begin with your earliest memory of your sense of yourself as a girl different from the boys. Was it a realization that you're in the bathroom and you saw your older brother has a penis and you're like, why don't I have one of those? What impressions did that create in your young mind and your young heart? Was there a time where you were exposed to pornography? Did you see certain movies or TV shows that awakened a hunger, a desire, a yearning? Were there certain people you were attracted to in your class growing up? How was puberty for you? Were you mocked when your breasts started to develop? Did people make fun of you? Was there any sexual abuse? Were there sexual experiences as a young person? All of those memories. The Lord knows everything about you, and he wants to make all things new. Bringing the Lord into those memories, letting him speak his truth to you. Imagine a piece of paper. This is what I often do in my talks. I'll hold out this piece of paper and I'll say, this is the painting of how God created us to be, naked without shame, in the beginning. And then I'll crumple the paper and I'll say, this is what original sin did to it. Gets all crumpled up. And we think the solution is to throw that away. We've told this story before on the podcast of how when we were dating and in the time of getting very close to being engaged, I was taking this approach. I was thinking that chunk of my life where I had been sexually involved and not living a healthy, holy life, I had just wanted to throw that away.
Yeah.
And say that was just bad. Throw it away. Throw it
Mm-hmm.
away. And I was wanting not for the Lord to make all things new. I was wanting the Lord to make all new things,
Yeah.
right? And what he really wants to do is uncrumple that paper, uncrumple that painting so we can reclaim who we really are. And Allison, to be honest, that is a long journey. I'm 50 years old. I've been taking that journey very seriously for 30 years. And I'm still on it. There are
Sure.
memories still coming back to me
Mm-hmm.
where the Lord says, okay, we got to go and look at this now. I want to go deeper with you here.
But it's a journey that comes in phases.
Yes.
That maybe there's something most important right now. And there's something that sometimes there are things that we know are probably important and we're just not ready for.
Might not be ready.
The Lord
That's right.
honors that. He knows
He
that
knows
about
when
us.
we're ready. That's right.
So we don't have to think,
I got to do this all in the next 2 weeks.
or, oh no, I have 30 years of this ahead of
Right.
me. It's not constant in that way.
That's right.
There are
That's
seasons.
a very important point. There are seasons
Yes,
to it. Yes.
and there are graces and there are joys of living those graces. The newness that He's given us, we live it. We grow through it. We bless others in that.
Yes.
So all of that is part of having our thirst quenched by the Lord. Think of the our Father. Give us this day our daily bread. We are not to trouble ourselves about the length or the amount
Yes.
of effort,
Yes.
because that's asking for bread. That's asking for a basic daily nourishment and provision from the Lord. And
That's a good word, Wendy. Some good Wendy wisdom going on.
thanks.
No, for real, for real. I even see I can get anxious about my own desire to be purified because I have this underlying lie, I believe, that I won't be loved until I get all my crap dealt with. And it's a constant lie I have to fight. Like, oh crap, here's more crap I got to look at. Okay, well, let's do this real quickly so then I can be loved. Darn it, I thought I already was loved. Now I got to deal with more crap. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. None of this is to earn His love.
No.
The journey that we go on is to let His love in to all of the places of our hearts so that we can know how much He loves us right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying how I'm going through I'm in one of those seasons right now of a deeper healing of certain memories from my teenage years. And it has been challenging to me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm 50 years old. This was like 35 years ago. Haven't I dealt? Well, the heart is a mystery. It's a deep, deep well.
Mm-hmm.
And my spiritual director has great advice when he says, go within with Him. Don't go poking around in your memories on your own, because we can't do anything to heal them. We can't do anything on our own to restore our own hearts, but go within with Him. So Allison, go within with Him. This means learning to be attentive to His leading, learning how to pray, learning how to listen in prayer, opening your heart to Him in prayer. That would be my bottom line advice to you, Allison, is a daily prayer life where you are opening your heart to the Lord and you're learning to listen to His leadings. Also be attentive to your dreams. It's a bedrock biblical principle that the Lord speaks to us through our dreams. It doesn't mean every dream is from God directly or something, but especially I'd say, Allison, if you have dreams of a sexual nature, journal them out. If you have certain memories of people in your life with whom you might have had sexual relationships, and you're having dreams about those people, journal them out. The Lord may be bringing these memories to you, certain persons to your memory in dreams or during your times of prayer, because He wants to bring a deeper healing. I've certainly experienced that.
all of this journey is letting us experience the Lord's personal love for us in our real lives, in our real interior, in our real desires. And it's a miracle. There are so many people on this earth. We can't wrap our minds around it. And yet God knows the whole story of every single person. His infinite knowledge and infinite love are the gift that we're receiving in all of this as we're opening up our desires. We're experiencing how fully he knows us personally and loves us in every moment, every aspect of our being. So it's an exciting and awesome thing to be able to share with you, Allison, and with all our listeners.
I think I have a little inspiration here. We're going to put a link in the show notes, Allison, to a drawing that our daughter Beth did, and it's called 3 Choices with Eros. Mm-hmm. And you've probably heard me in that other podcast that you're referencing, Allison, talk about the 3 choices. It's either we become a stoic and repress all that desire, an addict and indulge it in finite pleasures, or we become an aspiring mystic, where we learn how to open that yearning. And she made reference to this. How can my sexual desires themselves lead me to heaven? Yeah. Well, God gave us erotic desire, as I like to say, to be like the fuel of a rocket that has the power to launch us to the stars. But original sin inverted those rocket engines. Christ comes into the world not to condemn those with inverted rocket engines. He comes to redirect the rocket engines to the stars. I'm sure I've used that imagery on this podcast before because it's one of my favorites. Yes. But our daughter, Beth, drew these 3 images of the stoic, what he does, the addict, what he does, and the aspiring mystic, what he does. And there's a write-up on the back of her painting that we'll also post online through that link. So look at that, reflect on that. I think you'll find it inspiring to your prayer life.